The night I understood our leader was evil was the night I saw the trucks. They came without lights. They came without sound. And when they left, 6 people were gone forever. I am writing this because I am still alive. Many people who saw what I saw are dead. Some disappeared. Some ran mad. Some learned to keep quiet. I was a young man then. Not brave. Not important. Just someone who worked close enough to power to smell the rot. Our country will never admit this happened. They will say it is a lie. They will say I am bitter. But I was there. And once you see something like that, it follows you even in your sleep. Our leader was loved at first. That is how all bad stories begin. He spoke like a father. He laughed like a brother. He promised roads, schools, clean water, jobs. He said he came from the poor and understood pain. People danced when he won. Women ululated. Men lifted him on their shoulders. Old men cried and said, "At last." I believed too. I was working as a junior clerk in the local government office. Nothing big. I typed letters. I carried files. I stayed late when asked. That job put me close enough to hear things I was not meant to hear. At first, the signs were small. Money meant for boreholes never reached villages. Funds for health centers vanished. When people complained, the leader blamed old enemies and foreign plots. We believed him. We always believe the man who smiles at us. Then the fear started. One morning, a teacher who spoke against unpaid salaries did not come to work again. They said he traveled. His wife said he kissed the children goodbye like a man going to die. A journalist wrote about missing funds. 2 days later, his house burned at night. No one was arrested. Still, people whispered only in their homes. Out loud, they praised the leader. In our culture, fear grows quietly. It sits with you. The leader formed a special security unit. They were not police. They were not soldiers. They wore black clothes, no name tags, no badges. People called them times. The night meant if they knocked on your door, you did not open slowly. You opened fast and bowed your head. I first saw the trucks on a Thursday. It was late. The office generator had failed again. I stayed behind to finish typing minutes from a closed meeting. The meeting was marked confidential. I was not meant to read it, but when you type something, your eyes read it. The meeting talked about troublemakers, community leaders, youth organizers, a pastor, a woman who ran a market group. Beside each name was a short note. Handled quietly. I did not understand then. I wish I never had. Around midnight, I heard engines. Low, slow, careful. I stepped to the window. 3 trucks rolled into the compound. No headlights, just dark shapes moving like animals. Men jumped down, black clothes, guns slung low, faces hard. They went into the records room. I froze. I told myself they were security. I told myself it was normal. 10 minutes later, they came out, carrying files. Big brown files, the ones marked with red tape, citizen files. They loaded them into the trucks like sacks of rice. One man looked up and saw me. Our eyes met. I still see that face when I close my eyes. He did not shout. He did not raise his gun. He just stared, long and slow, like a man memorizing a road. Then he smiled. That smile told me I was already in danger. The trucks left. I did not sleep that night. The next morning, 6 people were missing. The pastor, the market woman, 2 youth leaders, the teacher's brother. and one man who sold phone cards near the bus stop. The leader went on radio and said enemies were spreading lies. He said the missing people had traveled. He said anyone repeating rumors would face the law. The families cried quietly. No protests. No march. Fear had fully arrived. Weeks passed. More people vanished. Always at night. Always after meetings. Always those who asked questions. I tried to resign. My boss laughed and said, "You know too much already." That was when I knew I was trapped. One evening, the leader visited our office. He shook hands. He joked. He asked for loyalty. When he reached me, he squeezed my hand too hard. "Do your work well," he said softly. "Silence is safety." That night, I vomited until my body hurt. The turning point came with the river. Our people believe rivers have spirits. They watch, they remember. One morning, fishermen found something stuck in their nets. A shoe, then another, then cloth. By noon, bodies started surfacing. 6 bodies, tied, broken, throats cut. The same 6 names from the list I typed. The leader ordered a fast burial. No photos, no question. He said they'd drown, but rivers do not tie hands. That night, the trucks came again. This time, they stopped at my house. I knew the sound. I knew it too well. My heart pounded so loud I was sure they could hear it. Knock, knock, knock. I opened. A black-clothed man stood there. The same face. The same smile. "Come," he said. "The leader wants to see you." I kissed the ground inside my mind. I thought of my mother. I thought of death. They blindfolded me. The drive felt long. I smelled damp earth. I heard frogs. I heard a generator. They removed the blindfold. I was in a small room. The leader sat alone. No smile now. "You saw things," he said. I said nothing. "You will keep seeing things," he said. "And you will keep quiet." He slid a file toward me. Inside were names. Many names. "Type when told," he said. "Forget what you type." That was the moment I understood. This was not politics. This was hunting. I walked out alive, but something inside me stayed in that room. I became a ghost who typed death lists. Every night, the trucks came. Every week, the river spoke. I am alive. Because one day, I ran. But before I ran, I saw something worse. The screams did not come from the streets. They came from below us. And once you heard them, you could never pretend again. After that night in the small room with the leader, my life split into 2 parts. The part people saw, and the part that lived in fear. By day, I was still a clerk. I typed letters. I greeted elders. I smiled when spoken to. By night, I waited for trucks. The leader did not shout. He did not threaten loudly. That was his power. He spoke softly, like a man discussing weather. Every file I typed after that meeting had weight, not paperweights, human weight. Names came in groups now, always labeled the same way. Security review, reassignment, transfer. We all knew what those words meant. The office changed. People stopped talking. Chairs stayed empty, and no one asked why. One morning, a woman collapsed at her desk. Her husband's name had been on my last list. They dragged her away. The leader sent flowers. That was how he ruled. With one hand crushing, the other pretending to care. The nightmen began using the old fertilizer warehouse on the edge of town. Officially, it was abandoned, but generators do not lie. I learned about the warehouse by accident. I was sent to deliver a sealed envelope to the security unit. No questions allowed. The road there was bad. Bush on both sides, no houses, no lights. As we got closer, I heard something strange. A dull sound, like wind pushing through cracks. Then I realized it was not wind. It was crying. The driver stopped suddenly. "Don't look," he said, but I looked. The warehouse sat low, almost sinking into the ground. Metal walls rusted. A single bulb burned above the door. From inside came voices, muffled, broken, men shouting, something eating flesh. A scream cut short. My body went cold. The driver refused to go closer. He dropped the envelope and sped off. That night, I did not eat. From then on, the screams followed me. In my head, in my dreams, I began to notice things. The river ran darker after certain nights. The market closed early. Dogs refused to go near the bush road. Elders stopped pouring libation near the water. They said the spirits were angry. The leader announced a new project, a Unity Center. People clapped. The Unity Center was built on top of the warehouse. Concrete poured fast, too fast. I watched as the ground was sealed, as if they were burying something that might try to come back. An old man who lived nearby said, "The earth is not deaf." He died 2 weeks later. Official cause, heart attack. By now, everyone knew, but knowing and speaking are not the same. Then came the boy. He was maybe 16. Thin. He worked part-time in our office, sweeping floors. He listened more than he spoke. One evening, he pulled me aside. "I saw you at the warehouse," he whispered. My heart stopped. "I'm not stupid," he said. "They brought my brother there." His brother was a university student. He had shared a post online criticizing the leader. They took him at night. The boy said he followed the trucks on a bicycle. He heard everything. "They are not just killing," he said. "They are breaking people first." I told him to leave town. He begged them. He shook his head. "If I leave, they win." 2 days later, he was gone. Nobody. No explanation. The office replaced him with another boy. That was when the fear changed shape. It was no longer sharp panic. It became heavy, like carrying a stone inside your chest. I started drinking local gin at night. It did not help. The leader began holding closed meetings every week. I typed faster. I stopped reading names. One day, my own name appeared in a file, not as a target, as a witness. They were tracking loyalty. I realized then that silence was no longer enough. Sooner or later, witnesses are removed. The folk tales my grandmother told me came back to mind. Stories of kings who drank blood to stay strong, of villages that fed monsters until there was nothing left. Those stories always ended the same way. The monster turned inward. The leader started killing his own men. One of the night men disappeared. Another fled across the border. A third was found hanging in his cell. Fear had reached the inner circle. The warehouse ground began to crack. Small cracks at first. Thin lines across the Unity Center floor. Workers complained of bad dreams, of voices calling their names. The leader ordered incense burned. Pastors invited, imams invited. Nothing worked. Then the rains came. Heavy, unforgiving. The river rose. Bodies began to surface again. Older ones. Bones. Cloth stuck to flesh. The earth was speaking. The leader panicked. That was the first time I saw him afraid. He called me late at night. "You will help me clean this," he he said. He wanted files destroyed, names erased, records rewritten, history killed last. I agreed, but inside me, something broke free. That night, I copied everything. Names, dates. I hid them where only desperate men hide things. In a shrine, my grandmother's shrine. Because spirits remember when humans lie. But that night, the trucks did not come. Instead, something else did. The dead were supposed to be silent. That was the leader's biggest mistake. He believed silence could be forced forever. Around midnight, the dogs started barking. Not normal barking. This was panic. Then they went quiet. Too quiet. The power went off. The moon hid behind clouds. The air smelled like rain and rust. I heard footsteps outside my room. Slow, barefoot. I reached for the small knife under my mattress, knowing it was useless. Then I heard my name. Not shouted, whispered. It was not one voice. It was many. I froze. In our folktales, when the dead call your name, you do not answer. You pretend you are not home in this world. The door creaked open by itself. Cold air rushed in. I saw shapes. Not solid, not smoke. Faces. Some I knew. Some I had typed. The pastor, the market woman, the boy's brother. Their eyes were open. No anger. Just wait. You carried us, one said. No voke. I did not scream. Fear had gone beyond that. My feet moved without my permission. Outside, the street was empty, but the ground was wet, though it had not rained. The figures moved toward the Unity Center. I followed. The building stood dark. Cracks glowed faintly, like veins. As we got closer, I heard shouting inside. The leader's voice, panicked, ugly. He was arguing with his guards. They're lying, he screamed. It's tricks. The ground shook. A loud crack split the night. The concrete floor gave way. The earth opened like a mouth. The smell hit first. Death. Oh, death. The ground collapsed inward, revealing the warehouse below. Bones, clothes, ropes. The screams returned, not from below, from inside the leader. He ran. He slipped on the wet ground. The figures moved faster now. They surrounded him. He begged. He named people he killed. He promised confession. He promised money. The dead did not answer. The earth swallowed him, just like that. By morning, the building was half gone. So was the leader. The government called it an accident. I did not wait. I left before sunrise, crossed borders, changed names, became smaller,